So this is Baruch Fleischman, and I finally got a chance today to take a look at this series on Rosh Hashanah. And we're learning the Tivuk Kavanis. We're starting the second Rosh. We're going to be learning the Tivuk Kavanis. Going to really lay this out so we can understand everything that's going on. It says like this is what we looked at yesterday. We're just reading the Rav across the top. It's very important to read the Rav because these are his ideas. But a lot of time on our level, they have to be brought down a little bit lower. So I'm inviting you to come and learn with me. I'm just going to be learning it also. So Yavor Bo Lama Haim Shnei Yamim the Rosh Hashanah. Why you need 2 days of Rosh Hashanah? Kusher Ima Omer. So it's going to be tied together with what we have been talking about, which I'm not sure what it is right now. But Zechel Hashanah, this is what he says. So we're going to come down here now to learn the typical bonus. And it says La'achashin is Boyer La'el Sof Drasha Kodim. When we came to the end of the last rush, Yesh Bezan Shtei Bechinos, Zer Anpin has 2 different aspects. And not just Zer Anpin, it's all the parts of it. Ha'achas Hi Bechinos Kitzonius, so one aspect of it is the outside of the parts of it. Shuhu Klalos Metzius Olamos, which incorporates all of the reality, it means with the appearance or the physicality of the Olamos. But the second part is the Panemius of it. So the Neshamas, which is a higher level, which refers to light. Light is part of the system which we have called the Ranchi, which is Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Ayin, Yechida. These are gradations of light. The lowest gradation is our bodily light. And after that, there's a higher level of light, which is Ruach, and inside of that is another light, which is called Neshama. You may have Rosh Hashanah Shanim Mishar Yamim Tovim, so they're different from all the rest of the days of the other holidays. Because Yesh became Shnei Yamim Gam Be'eretz Yisrael, that even in Eretz Yisrael, there's not a stake of the Yom, that even there you have 2 days. Masha Ein came Bishar Yamim Tovim, which is not the case by any of the other Yamim Tovim. Shirak B'chutz La'aretz Yesh became Shnei Yamim, only outside there of the land of Israel do you have 2 days. Although Be'eretz Yisrael Ein Sham Ela Yom Echad Belvad, there's only 1 day. So so from here, there's a secret in this. Shatiknu Chazal Shnei Yomim B'Rosh Hashanah. So that's what we do. These are shiurim in Sod. It's not for people that my teachers have referred to as Pashtanim. People just only know the Pshat and they only stay to the Pshat. Over here, we're going to the Sod. Because there's 2 different aspects of Rosh Hashanah. Because of this, Mischalek Rosh Hashanah D'Shnei Yomim. Rosh Hashanah is divided into 2 days. That each one of the 2 days corresponds to a different aspect of Rosh Hashanah. So now that we said that, remember, there's a Kitzonius and there's a Panemius, we explained it. Now you can understand the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. They really correspond to 2 different aspects as well. So so he says that we had said before that there were 2 different aspects in Zeranpin, Panemius and Kitzonius. So you correspond that to the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. Yom Rishon the Rosh Hashanah hu neged Panemius. The first day corresponds to the Panemius, which is the inside, which is the Shama of it. So therefore, since it's Panemius and it's by itself, I think, therefore comes onto it some very harsh dinim. Yom Sheni hu neged Chitzonius, but the second day is in regards to the Chitzonius. So therefore the din that comes to it is going to be weaker. Now, offhand, it doesn't make good sense to me, but let's keep going. And this is the reason, because of the concept of the Panemius and the Kitzonius is the reason why you have 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. And we're talking about bringing Mochin into Zer Anpin. Understand that the Mochin that come into Zer Anpin really affect us. Okay, so he said, "Be'eretz Yisrael she'ein noeg sham shnei yamim b'shar yamim tovim." So it also, that's the reason why, because of this concept of Pneumius Kitzonis. That's the reason why. So this goes the neged shnei bechinos elul. So this Kitzonis and Tovus go Rosh Hashanah regards the Pneumius Kitzonis sheyesh nambazah that now we see is the case of Zeranpin, as we had said. It's really that of all the parts of him, but we're really concerned about Zeranpin, which is the male part. And let's see what else we can say. He says, Be'eset tefillah, ma'alim kol olam ela olam shema'olam. What happens is when we're davening, as we're moving up through the different places of davening, the lower world moves up to the olam that's up above it, B'zeh HaSidrin. Ma'asiyah the Yetzirah, the Bria, Mabria the Atzilus. But the Aliyah that we're talking about, let's read it one more time. You go from Asiyah to Yetzirah, and Yetzirah to Bria, and Bria to Tzilus. This is what we're able to accomplish while we're praying. He says, but the only part of us that actually moves up is the Neshamadika part of us. He says, which is Benemius. This is the Ruchnius shall Klaus Olomos. Because now we're in the time of Galus, Churban. Ein bana koich la'alos as Ella as ha'chedek ha'benimah b'haruchni. So therefore, when we're praying, we can connect spiritually to the Most High. But that doesn't change what, I think that's what he's saying, that doesn't change where your feet are located. You're still on the ground. He said, below as ha'chedek ha'kitzoni b'gashmi. That doesn't move. That's what he's saying. Where level you're at in Gashmias, that's where you stay now, in this world. Ki haloha olam agashmi, because he said the olam agashmi, yeshar kamiskontov ein bo shinoi v'oliyah. It stays in the same consistency or constituent. Whatever its constituent parts are, it stays that way. Vein bo shinoi v'oliyah ela sheyicholim nirot v'legalos as a koach hapanimi. That's what you're able to do. Hamachaya also, that brings life, because this is what happens. Although there's no movement of your body, but the fact is that your ability to be able to rise up spiritually to a higher level with your praying, it comes down and makes a difference. Hamachaya also v'la'alos also ajul sharshu elyon. So this all allows this whole business to go. You get also the sweetness that comes into the body as well. But the body does not move. That's what he means to say, is that the physicality, which is the Kitzonius, stays planted. So the Penimis, the ability to go up, comes through the power of the Jewish people. Because our neshamas are such a high level that we're able to be ma'ala the Penimius. And the Penimios called Olomos, which comes from the Penimios of all of the Olomos, and the Penimios itself is really related to Ein Sof Baruch. Look at that, like you say like this, that the concept of Yisrael, let's just take this in a Kabbalistic way. Yisrael Alu, they go up a Machshava. Into the Machshava is the place that the prayers reach in the most deepest parts, Eric Anpen, the Mochslima of Eric Anpen, and all of Matzilus. So we're the ones that can do that Tehillah. Behind the Shechashav Aleichem Kaviyachol, so that is the Kodesh Baruch Hu saying to us, who's Ein Sof Baruch Hu, Shechashav al Klaus Abriya, before he considered all the whole creation that he made. V'chol Abriya came to Katafel, V'chitzonius Olomos Yisrael Shehem Ratza B'nimah V'ikri. Now, this was a little bit hard for me. So let's go back and see if I got myself off track. It says, so that I darshan that. It's my own way to say it, because machshava is the place of the birur. But let's say he says that we come to I think he means to say that we come to the thought of God first. That is, the Ein Sof Baruch Hu sees us first. Behind the Shechashav Aleichem, that on the Jewish people, from the beginning of creation, Kaviyachol, Ein Sof Baruch Hu terem Shechashav al Klaus Abriya, before he thought about creating the whole creation, all creation, we were thought of first. Now I'm going to put in the old Flashman answer recommendation on this. Is that we are the self. In other words, the light comes to us. We're able to work with that light. If it was not possible to have human beings, family of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, to be able to work with this light, then there would be no point in creation. Recall how Bria Haim Katafel, all the rest of the creation is like a something subservient. The Chitzonius Umas Yisrael, and really on the outside in regards to the Jews, because there's a panemius that we are able to reach. That's what the thought was. Shehem Aranza the Benimi Ikri, which is really the inner thought. Let's go on a little bit more. It says Habachina Chitzonis. So he says this Inyan, this outside of outsidedness. Let's go to outsideness. She Inyan Mitzias Olamos Ansman, which is talking about the reality of the physicality of the world. He uses the word Mitzius, which means to me it means like the reality or its existence. With the existence itself, I'm not sure exactly how it fits here, but I put on the word physicality. So he said, Inyan the Malachim, also the Malachim, they're also Malachim that are related to the concept of Chitzonius. I'm not sure that I know this Inyan very well. Nishar Kafi Mashahoya, they remain just like they were. So he says these two things, the Chitzonius and the Malachim. Let me say it, they come out of the aspect of Chitzonius. I'm thinking it's the Chitzonius of Olam Yitzira. Or whatever, or Bria perhaps. Nishar Kafi Mashahoya, they remain like they were. You're not able to elevate them at the time of tefillah. Only will happen at the time of the Mashiach, which we see in other shiurim is not so far away. So let's see what we say over here. This is what is said about Yeshaya said. Now we're talking here about the Malachim again. This is a phrase you see in the Otzvus Chaim, the Eighth Chaim. It comes out again. Kolomish Malachim, Reilim apparently is another word for Malachim. And they cry Reilim, Soakim, they're called Reilim, and they're crying out. Why? Because they wait outside. They're not able to go up together with Malchus. Interesting. We are standing in Malchus. Our panemius from Malchus itself is able to rise up to the Most High. But at the same time, our feet are still stuck on the ground. So he said, they remain outside. They're not able to go with the spiritual aspect. Because and all of this happens because they're outside. Behind the Chitzonius, that is the concept of the outside and the outsidedness. It's not like the Nishma B'nai Yisrael. Because that comes from the Panemius. So therefore, when you're in Shul, you're standing in a physical building, in a physical world, but your soul can rise. So that's the idea. So since these are two different bechinos altogether, because in the first day we rebuild and we create a good flow of the panemius. And the second day we do the chitzonius. Im came bisman hamikdash. So that's the case, you need 2 days. He says that there was only 1 day of Rosh Hashanah in the time of the Beis Hamikdash. That is the first day of Tishrei, is the holiday. Ketzad, what you holding? So how were they able to sachen b'yom echad es shnecha b'chindas and niskarim? So therefore, how were they able to rebuild these two pathways? The Shnei Bechinos that we mentioned. So he said the Bira Inyanu. So now let me give you an explanation, he says. Ki bizman shebeis hamikdash choyakayim, choyak koich v'yicholas l'Yisrael alos al yedei tefiloseihem. I see that the Jews at that time had the ability. Now, I'm not sure what this means really, but let's read the words. He says, Ki bizman shebeis hamikdash choyakayim, choyak koich v'yicholas l'Yisrael alos al yedei tefiloseihem, that their prayers at that time, the time of the Beis Hamikdash, gam es bechinas hapenimiyos v'gam es bechinas chitzoniyos b'yom echad. They could do both of these qualities at the same time. V'kach lo chutzukol al pi rov, v'shnei yomim shel Rosh Hashanah, so therefore in the majority of time you didn't need 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, ela yom echad dova. Now I saw from this that my definition of the chitzonius staying, and I said it regarding to us, I think that's probably a good metaphor, but it's a metaphor really for what's going on in Olam Atzilus with Zeir Anpin. So what happens with us is that we can see our outside, and we can see our inside, we can see how we can go up, and we're still here in the world. But over there with Zeir Anpin, now you're already in a very much different kind of place. The Moshe is in Masechtas Rosh Hashanah, he says, so this is something else. So if they came at a certain time from Mincha onward, that's what the Mishnah says over there. Because there are times, there were times, when the Beis Hamikdash, when Rosh Hashanah was 2 days, and he just said that because they came from Mincha Lamala, at that time to give testimony on that they saw the new moon, it's too late, and as a result of that, they make that day Kodesh and the day before it Kodesh. After it goes. So there you could see they're divided into two different ways. So that was the situation, even in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, that you would be able to see 2 days. So la'achar korban. Now let's see what a little bit more. We're going to do just a little bit more, and then this could be it. So after the Churban, the dinim got a lot stronger. So therefore, it had to be to make 2 days for Rosh Hashanah, because there is a Zohar that's a Zohar says if it would be like that. So now, the way the world is, if you only would have 1 day of Rosh Hashanah, the world couldn't stand. So therefore, this reason, Nitzrak Shnei Yamim, 2 days were needed, Kedei L'Kalo Dinim V'Rachamim, in order to be able to incorporate Dinim and Rachamim. B'Yom HaRishon Oskim Rak L'Alos Benimius. Now, on the first day, we're dealing only, really, to elevate Benimius. V'Yom HaSheni Oskim Gam L'Alos Chitzonius, and the next day, we're also working to bring up the Chitzonius. But the thing is like this. You also have the Penimius go up on the second day as well. Because the Chitzonis is going up, it takes more Penimius. Now exactly along with it. From the Khan Lama the Rishash, and now we see the Rishash says like this. Besides the Chitzonis, they get a tikkun on the second day. Also is a portion of the Penimius that has to be Masuk at that time. Because the first day is Dinakasha. Then you call them all those call the Penimius, and all the Penimius couldn't come up because it's under attack. Now I didn't explain what I was looking for is why the Penimius is going to be more attacked, which is the part that goes up on the first day. So I guess what you're saying is that the dinim from all the year are there, and there's no chitzonius to protect it. That's one of the things that the goof protects the neshama that's inside of it. So there's no chitzonius here. The sun is not moving. Once it starts moving past the chitzonius, which was protecting it, it's exposed. That's my thinking. Okay, misaknim chelik b'nimius gam b'yom hasheni. So therefore, we need to do that also on the second day, and then we're going to say right here, this is it for 11 Elul 5-7-8-2. Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator, Kola.